Good morning. Hey, my name is Niva, and these are my notes on how to build a morning routine so that way you're going to feel beautiful on the inside and out. I'm talking like life-changing healthy habits that actually stick, because you want to be able to have some flexibility built in so you can listen to how your body feels on a specific day, or your brain, or your heart, or maybe your schedule. I'm very excited because this routine took me years to refine, and there's a reason it's so effective. It's science-backed and grounded in research, and it's tailored to help you start your day with a lot of energy and focus. For more science and beauty and the science behind beauty, you can check out my socials. I'm at NotesByNiba on all platforms. And if you'd like to support me in sharing these tips, you can check out my Ko-Fi. And then one note before we get started, this video isn't sponsored. I do mention like a few products, but it doesn't really matter whether you're into those or not. It's more about like the method and figuring out what works best for you. Most productivity and self-help advice involves building a really good morning routine, because having some kind of like thoughtful and effective morning routine can really set the tone for your day. But there's just a big significant issue with this approach. It's usually laid out in like a rigid structure of like, do this, cross it off your list. When you're sticking strictly to a schedule, it means you also have to ignore what your body needs and what rhythms it might be in. Like sometimes you just might need more sleep or rest. Like when I'm on my period, I'm not going out and doing like a HIIT workout first thing in the morning. So having a flexible approach is much better. In this video, we're going to be creating like a menu and picking one item from each section in order to complete your morning routine. We're also going to be going over a bunch of ideas, but this isn't like an exhaustive list, so you're going to be able to figure out what works well for you, either within this video or without. The important thing is that you're going to be like establishing that morning routine to do consistently. From the moment you wake up, every single step is designed to help you feel more alert, more productive, and just generally more in control of your day. I used to not be a morning person. Like I would regularly stay up until 2 a.m. But with this routine, it gives me things to look forward to and also helps me feel just so much better. So mornings are not something that I'm like dreading anymore. A quick note here that this is the suggested order that you do these sections in, but you can switch up the order and find what works best for you. All right, let's start at the beginning, which is literally waking up. You cannot hit the snooze button, because I know it's really tempting, but when you hit snooze, it actually disrupts your natural sleep cycles. When you hit snooze, your brain starts a sleep cycle that it actually can't complete, which is what leads to sleep inertia, which is that feeling of like grogginess and disorientation. And I know this is much easier said than done, but really waking up at the same time every day is key, like regardless of what time you went to bed the previous night. Unless you like went to bed like 5 hours later than normal or something like that, you really want to try and wake up at the exact same time every day. If I look different, it's because I had to run to the hospital to get my blood drawn. I actually don't wake up to an alarm anymore. I don't have any noise when I wake up. I use the Philips Smart Sleep Light Therapy alarm clock with sunrise simulations. It has like kind of a personalized sunrise experience where you put in your alarm time and then slowly it fills the room with light leading up to that alarm. So then my body just sort of like naturally wakes up whenever I sense like the most amount of sun in that room. So this way I have a much more gentle transition than just like waking up to the sound of really loud things. And having a gentle transition makes me wake up feeling a lot more refreshed and like kind of eased into the day a little bit more. This device mimics a natural sunrise, so that means it kind of easily aligns with your body's natural rhythms. Plus, it's been proven to help your mood and your energy in the morning. Obviously this works well for me, but for other people you might want an alarm clock that like moves, or you have to solve a math puzzle in order to like get out of bed. So I suggest getting an alarm clock, not a phone, an alarm clock that fits what you want, whether it's like a sound alarm clock or an alarm clock on the other side of your bedroom so that we have to get up out of bed in order to turn it off. Something that really kind of like fits your style, but not your phone. The next menu item is silence. I like to meditate anywhere between like 15 to 45 minutes, but you can also have like some quiet reflection or prayer if that's your thing, or just sit quietly with like a cup of tea for a little bit. I try to stay still for the entire time I meditate, which not gonna lie is pretty hard. So I got this cushion that has really helped. It kind of helps support when you're sitting like cross-legged, and it's got like a beanbag texture, so it's really easy to sit on. The main goal here is to break the habit of just like reaching for your phone first thing in the morning. There are so many studies that highlight the negative effects of looking at your phone first thing in the morning, and honestly, I don't even know if I need those studies because I can feel it in my body. When I start my day scrolling or I end my night scrolling, I just know my mental health is in such a bad place. And if there's nothing else you take away from this, the one thing I want you to take away is you really want to try and not look at your phone first thing in the morning. I know it's so tempting and so hard, but maybe it means you gotta like wake up 10 minutes earlier so you don't have to like jump straight into a meeting, or maybe it means that you charge your phone in another room. No matter what it is, no matter what you gotta do it. Do not look at your phone first thing in the morning. Osmosis, do you agree? All right, the next menu item is an item that's the same thing every single time, so I kind of lied to you a little bit about that. Starting your day with a glass of water can kickstart your metabolism, help flush out toxins and wake up your digestive system. Did you know that drinking water doesn't actually contribute all that much to skin hydration? Like, unless you're actually dehydrated, it doesn't do a whole ton. I was so freaking shook when I learned about this, but it turns out skin hydration is a lot more connected to what you eat. I'm making a video all about like food and drinks that benefit your skin, so stay tuned for that. Which brings me to skincare. This one, there's so many different options. At the minimum, you can just wash your face with water in the morning. At the maximum, you can continue your skincare routine from the night before, which is what I like to do. After I have my makeup off, my nighttime skincare is mostly to hydrate my skin and spot dry out any pimples. I really like this In Beauty 10+10 moisturizer. I will always have some of it on my skincare shelf. Some nights I'll use an overnight face mask like this one, and then I'll go in and spot treat any pimples on my face and finish off with a lip mask for that overnight hydration, which has really helped the softness of my lips. Last, I like to use these eye pads overnight to lock in the hydration, and then it's off to bed. Morning skincare doesn't really need to be complicated. I start off with my morning peel, which is basically removing everything from the night before. It's really true. The uglier you go to bed, the hotter you wake up. And this way for my morning skincare, I can keep it really simple, just like a toner and some sunscreen. I don't really need to do a whole ton because my skin is pretty hydrated from all of the like moisturizing ingredients overnight. I had to like cut the top off because I really wanted to get the bottom of all of this. I think there's maybe like one more use left in here. And this way it's a pretty simple routine that goes by pretty fast. I have seen some people using lip stains to go to bed, but that does have some complications with it, so I would recommend using it for like under an hour rather than overnight. So a solid nighttime routine can really make your morning routine so much easier, but really at the minimum, all you need to be doing is just washing your face with water. Getting your body moving first thing in the morning is so essential, and luckily there are like so many options for this, from like stretching to HIIT workouts to going for a little walk.
Hi, Beans. Street cat. Always on the prowl.
Osmosis has decided to join us. For me, I really like going to hot yoga first thing in the morning just to like stretch and detoxify and meditate a lot, but it's not offered every single day, nor do I want to do it every single day. So other days I might just do some light stretches and walk on my like at-home treadmill, or just go for a walk in the neighborhood if it's nice out, especially like if the sun is out, get some vitamin D up in here. On more active days, I love going for a dance class or playing Beat Saber or even doing like a HIIT workout in the morning. The key thing here is having just like some amount of movement, no matter how small, because that really helps to boost your mood and like wake up your body and just set like a really positive tone for the rest of the day. And if you find that you're dreading doing something, then maybe it's time to switch it up a bit and try something else. Like for instance, I know it's really bad to look at screens first thing in the morning, but if the only movement I'm willing to do is a little bit of Beat Saber, then I'm gonna put on my VR headset and do a little bit of Beat Saber because that's gonna be what gets me moving. This next section is called Getting Inspired, but it really could be called like sort of the treat, because this is the thing that you should be looking forward to the most in your morning routine. Something that when you don't want to get out of bed, you're like, at least I will get to do this. Whether it's a short science documentary or a podcast about personal growth, finding something to give you inspiration in the morning really helps kind of like boost your creativity and gives you something to look forward to on the days where you're like, I really don't want to get out of bed. What is the thing that would really help get you out of bed? What kind of content are you excited about seeing? And I know I said don't go on screens, but here's my pro tip, is that I use my watch later playlist a lot. Like when I log onto YouTube, I don't even look at the first screen. I try to just jump straight to my watch later playlist and just treat that as my feed. Because having a dedicated playlist means I can jump straight into the content without getting lost in the scroll. For me, this means like science videos, travel vlogs, or productivity tip type videos. Now let's move on to my favorites, the writing. I'm making a whole separate video on how I journal and the most effective ways to journal, but for now, these are the key elements for your morning routine. I always start with listing 4 things I'm grateful for and 1 thing I'm grateful to myself for. Then I note down 4 things that made me happy or inspired or just some way kind of positive. This practice is a little bit different from writing just like a gratitude list, because it helps you notice what you really value and what sort of things give you that happy emotion. And you really have to sit and think about it. Like, was it a tiny little interaction where you held the door open for someone, or you helped someone with a package, or perhaps you like had a really good workout? So after I write those down, I try to like freeform write. Ideally, I want to fill 2 pages. This was inspired by the Artist's Way morning pages. Often I just kind of write for however much time I have. I don't actually hit the 2 pages, but this combo of writing down gratitudes and self-reflecting on things that went well and just free writing, this really helps set a powerful foundation for the day. It helps me like stay grounded. I recognize my accomplishments. I see what cool things are happening. I can like outline my goals. Oftentimes the thing that I end up writing about is what's coming up for the day, and it helps me plan out my like day and see how much I'm doing and kind of parse through if I'm feeling reluctant about any of it, or if there's nothing I'm looking forward to, like what can I build into my schedule to make it something I'm looking forward to, that kind of thing. And then lastly, let's talk about food. This is the part of the routine that really varies from person to person. If you're not hungry in the morning, then don't eat. However, studies have shown that eating late at night is really not good for your digestive system. And I noticed that when I stopped indulging in like late night munchies, I often feel hungry first thing in the morning, especially after doing that morning movement. So really my tip here is to avoid eating late at night. All the other practices in this routine will help you be more aware of your body's needs, and that way you'll be able to better understand your food intake in the morning. Since I eat breakfast in the mornings, that's also when I take my vitamins, because studies show that when you take your vitamins with food, the actual like vitamin itself becomes more bioavailable, which means that your body can absorb and use it more effectively. Studies support every single one of these sections. I've narrowed it down as much as I can, and I really recommend doing one thing from each of these sections. So that's all my notes on a morning routine. Give it a try for a while and see how you feel. Remember, you really have to stick with it for a week or maybe even a month to see results, so it's really important to stay consistent. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with someone who could use some help building a better morning routine. I hope these tips were helpful, and I'll see you on the next page. I hope the mic isn't picking up all of her purrs. Cats, cats, cats. Cats, cats, cats. Come on, I gotta get up.